They call him the Young Wolf. They say he rides into battle on the back of a giant direwolf. They say he can't be killed.
The Red Wedding was meant to end the Stark rebellion, silencing the young wolf and his quest to avenge his father. But what if it didn't? What if the North remembered and Robb Stark escaped the blood-soaked betrayal? Would the North rise again, or would Robb's survival ignite new flames of war across Westeros? This is the story of a king who lost everything: his army, his crown, and his family, except his life. And with his survival, the Game of Thrones begins anew. Chapter 1. The Wedding Turns Red. The hall is filled with music and laughter, but the tension is undeniable. Robb Stark sits at the high table, smiling faintly as he raises a goblet to Walder Frey. Across the room, Catelyn Stark's eyes narrow as her gaze catches Roose Bolton. He's wearing armour beneath his tunic. Her breath hitches and her stomach sinks. Why is he armoured at a wedding? Before she can voice her suspicion, the music changes. The soft, haunting melody of the Rains of Castamere fill the air. Her heart pounds in her chest. Robb! The doors slam shut. Frey men draw daggers and crossbows. The hall explodes into chaos. Arrows fly, cutting down Stark loyalists. Robb stands, reaching for his sword, but an arrow pierces his shoulder. He stumbles, blood soaking his tunic. Mother! We need to move, now! From the kennels, a feral roar echoes. Grey wind has broken free. Screams follow as the direwolf tears through the Frey soldiers outside. Catelyn drags Robb toward a side door, their dwindling band of loyalists shielding them as arrows continue to rain. This way, to the river! They burst into the courtyard. Chaos reigns. Fires blaze, men scream, and blood stains the stones. Greywind charges toward them, his fur matted with blood, scattering Frey men who dare block his path. Greywind, to me! The direwolf falls in beside them, snarling. At the riverbank, a small boat waits, its oarsman a familiar face. Blackfish. He waves frantically. Get in! There's no time! Catelyn hauls Robb into the boat. He's pale, clutching the arrow in his shoulder. She turns back, her face twisted with rage, as Frey soldiers gather at the shore. The North remembers! She steps into the boat. Greywind leaps in beside her, growling. Arrows hiss through the air, one striking the wood of the boat, but the current carries them away. The sounds of slaughter fade as they drift down the river. Robb's voice is weak. Mother, I failed them. No, not yet.
Show them how it feels to lose what they love.
As the boat disappears into the mist, the young wolf lives, but the price of survival is only beginning to be paid. Chapter 2. A King Without a Kingdom. The Riverlands are cloaked in fog as the first light of dawn breaks. The group has found shelter in a small forest hollow, hidden beneath the canopy of ancient trees. Robb Stark sits slumped against a moss-covered boulder near a meagre fire. His face is pale, his hand pressed against the bloodied bandages on his shoulder. Greywind prowls the perimeter, his golden eyes glowing in the dim light. Catelyn kneels by the fire, warming her hands. Her face is gaunt, streaked with dirt, and her eyes hollow from grief and exhaustion. She glances at Robb, who stares blankly at the flames. You should rest. The wound won't heal if you don't. How many made it out? 12, maybe fewer. Most of the men fell in the hall. The Freys made sure of it. They trusted me. I led them into that slaughter. I should have... Don't. You didn't betray them. The Freys did. The Boltons did. If anyone bears the blame, it's them, not you. We should have all died there. Maybe it would have been better. Don't you dare say that. As long as you live, the North has hope. You are their king, Robb, the young wolf, and I won't let you give up now. We've got trouble. Freys and Boltons are searching the woods. They're moving in small groups, but they're close. We need to move before they find us. Let them come. I'll kill every one of them. You'll get yourself killed, boy. We're outnumbered, out-armed, and hunted. This isn't a battlefield. It's survival. If we're going to make it out of this alive, we need to think smart. We need allies. There are still loyal houses. Manderley, Kerwin, maybe even Umber. If we can reach White Harbour, we can rally them. The Karstarks betrayed us, and the Boltons butchered us. How can we trust anyone now? Because we have no choice. If you want to take back the North, if you want justice for our family, you need them. Trust me, Robb. The North will rise again, but not without you. The Manderleys still hold White Harbour. If they're loyal, they'll give us shelter. If not, I'll make them loyal. There's the young wolf I remember.
He's your king.
The group moves cautiously through the dense forest, under the cover of darkness. Robb's steps are unsteady, his injury slowing him, but he refuses to stop. Grey Wind pads silently ahead, his ears twitching at every distant sound. The faint glow of torches flickers through the trees. Spread out, they can't have gone far. They're closing in, we need to move faster. We're not outrunning them like this. Then we fight. A quick ambush, silent and deadly. We can cut through them. No, we've already lost too much. We keep moving. We're not giving the Freys what they want. Greywind, go. Show them who we really are. It's the wolf! Run! Run! The torches scatter as the Frey soldiers break formation, their cries echoing through the forest. Blackfish grins. That'll give us some breathing room. The group presses on, finally reaching the riverbank. A small raft, hidden beneath reeds and branches, waits for them. Blackfish moves to push it into the water. Robb turns to the group, his face hard, despite the exhaustion in his eyes. We make for White Harbour. The Manderleys are loyal, we rally the North from there. And when we do, the Freys and the Boltons will answer for what they've done. The North remembers, and let's remind them who we are. As the raft drifts into the mist-covered river, the sounds of the Freys fade behind them. The young wolf lives, but the road ahead is long, and the price of survival has only begun. Chapter 3. The Lannisters react.
He's a boy and he's never lost a battle. He'll risk anything at any time, because he doesn't know enough to be afraid.
The great hall of the Red Keep is bathed in the golden glow of midday light. Tywin Lannister sits at the head of the small council table, his steely gaze fixed on a trembling messenger. The man kneels, head bowed, as he delivers the news. My lord, there are rumours from the Riverlands. They say Robb Stark escaped the Red Wedding, that he's alive. Rumours are not facts. Tell me, do you have any proof? No, my lord, but Frey men have reported wolf attacks in the area. Greywind, they claim, and Blackfish has vanished. The Freys swore the Starks were dead. Do I now have to question their competence in addition to their loyalty? The Freys have never been warriors. But if the boy did survive, this could complicate matters. Roose Bolton assured me of his success. If he cannot find and kill a wounded wolf, perhaps I backed the wrong man. Cersei enters the room, her golden hair gleaming in the sunlight. She takes her seat, a smirk on her lips. More rumours about the wolf. I thought we were done with that northern nuisance. If the boy lives, he will inspire rebellion. The North will rally behind him. Let them. They're too fractured to be a threat. Perhaps. But if the Riverlands rise as well, we could have a war on two fronts. And Stannis is still in the east, gathering strength. Stannis is a fool clinging to his precious gods. Robb Stark is no different. Let them burn themselves out. Underestimating an enemy is what fools do, Cersei. And fools do not sit on the Iron Throne. Jaime enters, his golden hand gleaming as he strides to the table. Rumours of Stark's survival are spreading fast. The Freys are scrambling to cover their failure. And why are you so interested in rumours, brother? Because rumours have a nasty habit of turning into rebellions. Then we do not give the rumours time to spread. Roose Bolton will find him and finish what the Freys could not. Jaime, you will return to the Riverlands and remind our allies of their obligations. If the boy lives, we will hunt him down like the dog he is. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the Red Keep, Sansa Stark overhears the whispers of the court. Her hands tremble as she listens to the servants' gossip. They say the young wolf escaped. The Freys botched it. He's wounded though. Won't last long out there. Still, if the North hears of it, God's help the Lannisters. Sansa hurries to her chambers, her heart racing. She knows she can't act openly, but her mind churns with possibilities. If Robb is alive, there's hope. But how do I get word to him? A knock at the door startles her. It's Shay, her handmaiden. You look pale. What's wrong? Do you trust me, Shay? Of course, my lady. I need to send a message to the Riverlands. Back in the Riverlands, Frey and Bolton forces search relentlessly for Robb. The Freys are disorganised, their men wary of venturing too deep into the forests. Stories of Grey Wind tearing through search parties spread like wildfire. I'm not going back out there. That wolf's a bloody demon. Cowards, it's just a dog. Before he can finish, a low growl rumbles from the tree line. Moments later, Grey Wind barrels into the clearing, his fangs sinking into the officer's throat. The rest scatter, their screams echoing in the woods. In Winterfell, Roose Bolton sits at the high table, reading Tywin's Raven. He folds it carefully, his expression unreadable. Send word to the Dreadfort. We need more men in the south. The Freys have failed. Again. Father, let me hunt him. Wolves are so much more fun when they're cornered. You'll hunt when I command it, not before. If Stark truly survived, his time will come. Oh, I'll make sure of that. Chapter 4. The North Remembers. The chill of winter bites deep in the north. At Winterfell, Roose Bolton stands on the battlements, staring out at the snow-covered plains. The castle is quiet, its halls filled with unease rather than warmth. Behind him, Ramsay approaches with a smirk, his hands idly toying with a blade. Word spreads fast, father, saying the young wolf still breathes. Rumours are wind, easily ignored, but the north will stir. Let them stir. I'll put them all down. The old lords, their little bannermen, heads on spikes, every last one of them.
I don't need an army. I need 20 good men.
You'd kill a man for a whisper, but whispers are louder in the north than anywhere else. If the boy lives, he will draw them together. They loved his father, and they love him. You can't kill that with steel alone. Then what do? We keep the north under our heel, for now. Far to the east, in White Harbour, the Manderley household gathers in secret. Lord Wyman Manderley sits at the head of his table, a candle flickering beside a letter sealed with a direwolf sigil. He lives! The young wolf lives! His son Wylis leans forward, his voice hushed. If it's true, what do? The Boltons will retaliate if they find out we've sheltered him. The Boltons already demand too much. They insult us with every raven. If Robb Stark is alive, he is still our king. The North remembers. And if it's a trap? If this is the Freys or the Boltons spreading lies to draw us out? We'll know soon enough. If Robb lives, he will come to White Harbour. When he does, we'll be ready to support him. Elsewhere, in Bear Island, Lady Maege Mormont sharpens her blade as her daughters sit nearby, discussing the rumours. The young wolf alive? After the twins? It sounds impossible. He's a Stark. The impossible runs through their veins. What if it's a trick? A Bolton scheme to weed out loyalists? Then we fight and die as we've always done. But if Robb lives, I'll not stand idly by while the Boltons sit in Winterfell. The North remembers. It's time the Boltons did too.
But House Mormont remembers. The North remembers. We know no king, but the king in the north whose name is Stark.
In a dim, hidden cave near the river, Robb and his group huddle around a fire. The wind howls outside, snow piling at the entrance. Blackfish studies a map, his finger tracing a line toward White Harbour. The Manderleys are our best chance. They've always been loyal to House Stark. Loyalty didn't save us at the Twins. Why would it save us now? Because they're not the Freys, Robb. Wyman Manderley would never kneel to the Boltons willingly. He's waiting for a reason to rise. And if we're wrong, if they've bent the knee to the Boltons, then we'll know who our enemies are. But if you want to take back the North, we can't do it alone. The Freys are already weakened by their failure at the Twins. The Boltons are spread thin, trying to hold the North together. If we strike fast, we'll remind them why they feared the Starks. The North remembers. Let's hope they remember enough to fight. In Winterfell, a raven arrives for Roose Bolton. He breaks the seal, eyes scanning the parchment. His face betrays no emotion, but he crumples the letter in his hand. What is it? The North stirs. Maege Mormont has called her banners. Wyman Manderley is silent, which is louder than any declaration. And the Freys what? They've lost more men. Their patrols are being slaughtered. If Stark lives, he's not hiding. He's moving. Ramsay grins wickedly. Then let me hunt him. I'll bring his head to you myself. Not yet. Let him move. Let him think he's safe. And when the time comes, we'll remind him why they fear the flayed man. Chapter 5. Return of the King in the North. Robb stands in the great hall of White Harbour, surrounded by banners of loyal houses. The North is stirring, and the beginnings of an army are forming. Wyman Manderley approaches, his face pale as he hands Robb a raven's message. It's just arrived, my king. What is it, Robb? The Boltons know I'm alive, and they're marching on White Harbour. Before anyone can respond, another rider bursts into the hall, his face streaked with snow and panic. My lord, it's not just the Boltons. Speak clearly. Lannister banners have been spotted crossing the neck. Tywin Lannister is coming north. The hall falls silent as Robb stares at the rider, his jaw tightening. The North is no longer just stirring. It is at war. The gathering storm. The North stirs, but so do its enemies. The Boltons march to crush the remnants of House Stark, while whispers of Tywin Lannister's advance loom like a shadow over the North. With his loyalists rallying behind him, Robb Stark stands on the precipice of war once more, injured, outnumbered, but unbroken. As the storm gathers on the horizon, one thing is clear. The young wolf's survival has changed the game, but will it be enough to reclaim the North, or will the wolves fall for good?